So today we're going to set up our notebook, and the first thing we're going to do is in your box of supplies there's at least one Sharpie permanent marker. So if you've got your own, you can use it. If not, you can use mine. And I want you to write your name at the top, and I want you to write Science 2015-16 at the bottom. So we'll pause for a second to give everyone a chance to get their name on the front and the science on the front. All right, the next thing we're going to do is we started our warm-up today, and there are paper clips in the container if you've not gotten one out, and you're going to paper clip your warm-up sheet to the inside cover of your composition book so you can have it every day available to you when you first come into class. So it should go right here, and you should paper clip it, and you should have written omit for day 1, omit for day 2, and then you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 answers here for day 3. And then tomorrow when you come in, well, obviously will be day 4, and we'll do that. So paper clip that in. All right, page 1 of your notebook is your table of contents. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you. I also have a copy of the table of contents back there on the easel, so if you can't see from where you're seated, you're welcome to get up and come walk to the counter up near the front here, but don't block somebody who's seated from being able to see, so you need to stand off to the side. Or in this case, you could, if you're back here, you can use the table of contents that's back here on the easel, which has the same first 7 pages. So page 1 is our table of contents. The truth about me, you did that for homework the first night of school, and that went on page 2. And let me go back over the numbers because they're not very dark. Page 3, I want you to find that course guide I gave you, and in just a minute we will get that attached. Then page 4 is going to be your Instagram assignment that most of you turned in yesterday. If you didn't turn in yesterday, I'll come get it right now, so you can raise your hand. On page 5, we're going to put your safety rules in just a minute. Page 6 is going to be what we're going to do, one of the things we're going to do today, the scientist brainstorm. And page 7 will be our skills of a scientist, our first set of notes. And the definitions are done for you. We're going to do examples and pictures in class today. And then your homework tonight is to write 8 sentences using each of these words. And I will check that tomorrow. All right, now. So, on page 2 are your truths about me, and if you did that on a sheet of notebook paper, you may take that out right now and glue it in. And this is, I have to remind you about the kindergarten glue rule. For the kindergarten glue rule is we use 5 dots, 1 in each corner and 1 in the center. We don't waste glue because, number 1, it's wasteful. Number 2, if you get your paper so wet, if you have to go back and write on it, it's going to mess up, tear up, and make a big mess for you, probably on my desk as well. So here are your, on page 2, you have your 10 statements that were true about you. All right, now, whenever we do something, you look down the middle of the notebook. You got 2 sides. The even side is always what you, the student, are telling me that you either know or have learned or you're brainstorming and think you want to know. So the even side is always the student part. And so if you look up here, I've got some examples of the student output. It's always going to go on the left. They're always going to be the even number pages. So we might do a pre and a post activity, and today you're going to do a pre activity. You might draw pictures, you might create charts, you might create a graphic organizer, you might put a graph there, or you might be answering some kind of personal response question. On the right side, which is always an odd number page, is going to be something the teacher's going to give you. It's going to be notes. It might be from a video. It might be from a PowerPoint presentation. It might be an article or some research you're going to do. It might be definitions. It might be a lab. But it is going to be teacher directed. And so the odds and the evens. So what is on this side is something connected to what the teacher is giving you on the right side. So the left and the right side are connected. The left is always student driven. The right is always teacher driven. So I want you to find that course guide that you got on the first day of school. It is going to be page 3. All right. Now I'm going to bring the staplers around. I have 3 staplers, 1 for each row. I want you to staple this, and the reason you need to staple it is because you might need to be able to turn over and look at something that's on the back. So when you staple it, you should put 2 staples at the top of the page. That means you can still see it. Now, if you have a smaller notebook, it's not as tall as the paper is, then turn it sideways and fold it and staple it here so you can still open it up, but it won't hang out of your notebook. That is one of my pet peeves, when everything is hanging out of people's notebooks. So please do that. And I will come get the staplers in a few minutes. So when you use it, pass it to the next person, pass it to the next person, and then in about 5 minutes I'll be coming to pick up the staplers from the end of each row. And please don't waste them. And if you run out, just let me know. We'll get some more staples. But I think we should have enough to work this class period. All right, now we're going to turn the page. This is page 4. And page 4 is your Instagram, the Safeway that you have turned into me. So you are, this should just be labeled Instagram the Safeway, and when I get those graded and return them to you, then we will attach them on page 4. That's where they'll go. All right, so let's turn over to page 5. Page 5 is your science safety rules. And you have put your name here. I should be able to come in and see that you have them. So if we have any questions about anything, we know where to go to find it. So again, the staplers are going around. So if you've used it at the end of the row, pass it back up so people can use it again. So if you want to go ahead and number that, and then when the staple comes back around, if it's not near you, you can add that to page 5. All right, when you turn to page 6, page 6 is going to be our scientist brainstorm. So if you will look in your box of materials that's nearby you, you should see some of these little pictures of Albert Einstein. And I will again use the 5-dot rule and glue Albert in the center of the page. Now, in just a minute, we are going to take some notes today. These are our skills of a scientist notes. I'm going to give you the definitions. The format of this is called a prayer card. This is going to be page 7. So when you can go ahead and write that down. Notice that the word is in the center of each box. The definition is up in the corner. you're going to add an example and a picture today. And then for homework tonight, you're going to write a sentence using the word. And you are welcome to use the noun form or the verb form, so you can change it. But the point of writing the sentence is to show that you understand the definition. So I'm going to give you one of these right now, and then we will start filling in our examples and our possible sketches. And then at the end of class today, hopefully we will get this stapled in. And notice this is what you call landscape. And so you're going to have to fold it in half when you put it in and staple it on the side. And you will find you will do that to a lot of my papers. You will fold them and staple them. Alright, so that is setting up the notebook. So I'm going to stop the video right here and pass out this notes page to you. And we will get started taking our notes.